Hey everybody, welcome back to Is It a Buy, where we discuss stocks and determine if they're worth a buy or maybe a pass. My name is Corey. I'd just like to preface the video by saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about stocks, so please take what I say with a grain of salt, all right? Let's get into the video. Today, as you can see here, we're talking about 3D systems, ticker DDD. And so as you can see here, what they do is they're basically a one-stop shop for everything 3D printing, okay? And so let's kind of get into exactly what they do. So one of their verticals is software. So they do everything when it comes to everything about 3D printing and the software. So for example, they have a scanner. So you can actually scan something and you can scan basically a 3D model of whatever you're trying to do into the system and then edit it from there. Okay. Insane stuff. There's some things in here that are very exciting. Obviously, a bunch of different programs that they're using. I kind of, looking at this, it kind of reminds me of the Adobe Suite. There's a bunch of different things, and it kind of seems like they do similar things, but people in the industry know what they're doing, and they usually have their kind of go-to suite that they like to use, their programs. So something that I found extremely interesting was the organic 3D design software. So they're talking about like items that'll fit the human body, which is huge. It's insane. So we're going to get into all of these in a little more detail, but as you can see, just a huge suite of just software. This is just the software. It goes on and on. All right. Another vertical they're in is obviously the 3D printing. And 3D printing for on-demand manufacturing. And that's a big deal because a lot of people don't understand that, for these small individual, maybe a smaller company or individual like inventors or something, not all of them have access to these 3D printers or even the materials that they want to print. So for example, here you can see they print everything. Let me go over here. You can see they can print plastic, metal casting, dental, and jewelry. These are just absolutely insane. And you don't have to keep on purchasing their things. Like for the jewelry, sometimes you just need the mold. And once you have the mold, you can make all your products. So it's so impressive, everything they're able to do. And these guys have adapted this kind of business model that you're starting to see in a lot of these newer companies, which is so great. For a company to be able to adapt and make sure that they're serving people, especially during this pandemic, is so important. So for example, here you can see how easy the steps are. So you upload your file, they print your part, and they ship it to you. Now this is like, okay, well, everyone does this these days. Yes, but this kind of model is so great for somebody who just needs to test some things out, see what's going to work, not going to work. I'll give you like a little example. If you ever ordered like Warby Parker glasses, you basically choose the 5 pairs of frames that you want. Then they ship it to you, you try them on, and then you just choose one. And they basically do that. I think they ship it like for free or something, which is just insane. But they know you're going to choose something. And whenever you choose something from them and you do it once, that brand loyalty is built and it just stays there. And that's so important to just let people know how just, again, important brand loyalty is. Okay, so we talked about the products. There are some things that I get super excited about. Something I get crazy excited about is these healthcare solutions. Guys, these healthcare items, like as you can see, look, things for dental. Looks like this goes in the bones. Like for the hearts, like these products are so huge, especially if they can have a 3D printer in the facility. And let's say they're in a surgery and like they need something immediately. I mean, I can't say how quickly these parts get like created, but 3D printing, sometimes it takes a while, but depending on how long the surgery is, if there's some kind of emergency and they need to print it on the spot, that would be astronomical. Instead of having to wait for a specific part, if they have to deliver it from one hospital to another, or if it's out of state, So that amount of time could be a big difference between literally like life and death. So, everyone knows, the healthcare industry is just so huge. The amount of money in the healthcare industry, if they get this in a few hospitals, it's just going to explode. Like everyone's just going to be buying these products, and it just never really ends, and the sad truth of it is they can charge a lot of money for these systems in hospitals because the insurance takes care of it. But that's not what we're here to talk about, because that's something else. But I was just taking a look at the supply or some of their blogs. And they had this one about how it fits in their like supply chain, and it really just goes into detail about the stuff I've already covered, which is just manufacturing. Whether you're a small business, big business, these things are so important to have. Like whenever it comes to prototyping, or you need just to test a little thing. There was an image over here that I really liked, and it kind of went into just the rapid prototyping, low volume production. Sometimes you just need a few pieces, and you get those few pieces and you kind of ship it, and you decide, okay, I want to do this, I don't want to do this, and it can help a lot to really know where you're going. Appearance models, I think, is huge. People go to these trade shows and they go without a product. We've seen this a lot with these EV companies, that they don't have a car. They're just selling the idea of a car, and they just blow up. So for people to be able to kind of sell those ideas, and kind of like a Kickstarter, they have this idea of a product, and everyone just kind of flocks to it if they like it, if it's a great idea, and then they can actually go into production and make these things. So just great ideas, and they're showing you these little things that you can do with it, which is so huge. They're really creating their own market, and it's just so impressive. And again, back to the health industry, they're custom made mask fitters to help secure face masks. Like, it's so important. They're really with the times, exactly what they need, and these guys are just on top of it. It's super impressive. So taking a look, I always like to take a look at just trying to see if we can find some kind of like price prediction. Anything at all. I take these with a big grain of salt, because I do not really trust them, but I just like to see where kind of people's heads are at. I'm sure these are generated by some kind of algorithm, but I just like to take a look. So currently, looks like Yahoo Finance has them at a 1-year target estimate of $20.50. Currently, they're at $35.84. Again, I don't think that this is really accurate at all. They're considered overvalued. I really don't believe in this number right here. Okay, so just my opinion. And so they also announced, so this was pretty recently on February 24th, they announced the introduction of a next generation high-speed fusion 3D printing system for aerospace and automotive market applications. Guys, aerospace and automotive markets are so huge, especially now. As we know, everything's going toward electric vehicles, and the whole SpaceX thing that's happening for aerospace is just unreal. It's unparalleled. Like, this is really the future, if you want to say it that way. And so something here. So they announced that they're in the production of a industrial 3D printer platform and material portfolio. So anyways, they are in a collaboration with looks like Jabal Inc. And so something to keep in mind there. But I was actually surprised that there wasn't a huge spike off of this. But thinking back, we're in a bear run, and in this bear run, tech was hit the hardest, and I'm sure that we'll see a recovery soon. So let's jump over here. I also like to take a look at the institutional ownership. Institutions are not dumb. These guys are literally created to make money. They have a bunch of analysts out there trying to just make them money, and like, that's what they do. So I like to follow big money, because big money is smart money. These guys aren't just putting their money in there. Let's see, maybe it goes up, maybe it doesn't. No. That's not how they play. So to see 449 institutional owners is crazy. That's a lot of institutional ownership. Looking at the shares, I'm not really sure why this number is saying like 104%. If anyone has like any kind of insight on why that number is looking like that, just let me know. So I went ahead and I looked up an alternative site that had a number, and it looks like 66.27%. So regardless, this is a very high number. And looking down here, it says 269 or 296 institutional holders. So regardless if who's right, if it's above 50%, that's a big number. That's the majority of institutional owners. And again, this is big money who really believes in it. These guys don't have small shares. Like, you can see they have pretty big shares, pretty big amount of shares. So something to take into consideration. Let's get into the chart setup. So the chart setup is looking pretty crazy. So as you can see, over the 1 month, they had a good little run, and now they're kind of, this was the bear run. And so they started to go down a little bit before the bear run. I would say around here is probably where the bear run started, and we've just been going down. Now, the good news is we do have this double bottom here. This double bottom right here is going to show a level of support. So as long as it respects it around right here, let me see if I can just grab that. Yeah, as long as it respects it around right there, this is looking pretty good for me. To me, it signifies that we found a bottom, and we probably have reached the floor. So I think we're going to be looking for another upcoming run. Now the earnings is on March 1st. It's coming up here in a few days. So it's going to be super important. If you are bullish on the stock, I anticipate that the earnings is going to be pretty good. Let's take a look here at the financials. So we're looking at a quarterly here. Let's go ahead and look at the gross profit. So they were doing great at the end of 2019. So right before the pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, you can see they're like a month in or something. They were hit pretty hard. So their profits went down a little bit, in comparison. But now you can see they kind of picked up. So they did better than they did in Q1, and now you can see that they're really picking up. And whoops, I was in the wrong part. Gross profit. So they did pick up a little bit. So they look like a little under 1 million in profit here. So do I think that they're going to be completely profitable and this is going to be green? Probably not. I don't think they'll do as good as they did, but they have a lot of products here that are coming out. Things are starting to open back up. I think that they're going to do very well in the future. I think that this stock is at a good price. I think it's undervalued right now, and I think it's going to continue to grow, especially with these 3D printing is really growing. We've been hearing about it for a while, but now they're getting into metals. I'm very excited about the medical parts. So definitely something to keep an eye out on. So let's take a look at them a little more technically. I know I put this level of support down here. So let's look at just the indicators. So here we have the RSI. So that's the relative strength index. So anything over 70 is overbought. Anything under 30 is oversold. We're right here, smack in the middle. So that's fine. I'm fine with that. This is telling me we're in a good spot, and that looks good to me because you can see that it's kind of leveled off. We have this double bottom here, and we're going to see what's going to happen, because there's going to be something. We're going to have a breakout with the earnings coming up so soon. I anticipate we're going to have a bullish run. This stock now is just looking good to me. Something else I want to look at is we have the 15-day moving average, so the 15 MA, and we have the 200 EMA right here, this purple line. 200 EMA being exponential moving average, 200 being over the 200 days. So, it's this line being under here is not exactly what we want. As you can see, whenever it passes under here, it does put us in a bearish market, I would say. It's a bearish indicator. So we're going to look for this to go up, and we don't want it to just, kind of go above it. We would like it to skyrocket past it. With this earnings, we do have a very real possibility of that happening. And let's say that earnings, isn't good or really doesn't run whenever the earnings are announced. That's okay. This stock is still a good stock. These guys are in the right verticals. This is one of the more popular companies whenever it comes to 3D printing. They're pretty huge. And so this is something that this is a stock I think you want to keep an eye out on. These guys are going places. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might be a longer play, but I think this is a great place to get in. I think this is a great stock to be in. Okay, that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you did like the video, please consider giving it a like or maybe even subscribing. I have some good videos coming out where I'm talking about stocks that have not been talked about at all, and I'm talking their upside potential of 500%. So it's going to be insane. Feel free to share the video if you want more people to know about 3D systems. And let's get people talking about the stock. The stock has a lot of upside potential. I think they could be really great. All right. Thanks, guys. Peace.